Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you guys today, but I do have a real quick Divine Feminine read I want to do from yesterday. It was done around 6 p.m. I'm not going to do all of it, but there's definitely some important points I need to touch on. So today is July 12th, 2019, but from the 11th, this was actually 6:10 p.m. for the Feminine. I'm not going to give you all the stuff from the Feminine, but the three wise men came up with three kings, and definitely like mothers were trying to come through for the masculines to talk to us about their sons. And also I was getting like my three sons, I aced him, so that was coming through. But mama literally was coming through, and it regards your own mother, you as a mother to your child, and also the mother of the masculine. Also, Edison was coming up, so Thomas Edison might be coming up. Edison Illuminating Company. Editor-in-Chief came up yesterday. Earned income tax credit, as well as exercise intelligence code. To co-create was about bridging the gap with communication between the King of Swords and the Empress to allow it to not flow naturally, and to not fear meeting the family and the mother, you know, to just be yourself. But the mama is coming up as the gateway or the bridge to ace the communications between the King of Swords and the Empress. So that was coming through very clearly, as well as Mom May come up. So someone's name may be May, Mom May. And yeah, and Thunder was coming up there as well. Let's see here. The major arcana for this read were guidance. So the guidance and reason both came up, which is the Emperor and the Empress. Justice, solar deity, which is the sun, and then indigo, like the magician. And after the read yesterday was the star for the feminine. There's just the King of Swords in the main part of the read. King of Pentacles, King of Cups came up before that I used in the read, and after the read was the Knight of Cups. That was it. So it was all masculine energy yesterday. Okay? So, and also the number 4 came up on the code line, so about the Emperor, very masculine energy. And again today, I'm feeling a lot of high heart stress, like the masculine's heart, their high heart jumping into their throat, even more into their throat when I was outside for a little bit, and definitely getting some more fear energy from the masculine right now, actually, which I've been kind of getting a lot of, for the past few hours, actually. So, some other information that came up with the read yesterday for the feminine had to do with Adam and Eve and Samuel and Lilith, which some stuff came up very clear to me. I'm not educated with any of that. I wasn't raised religiously, but some information coming up from that, because I was guided to it, was being made very clear to me. Also, some of the Kabbalah was coming up, so I was researching into the definitions of the different parts of the Kabbalah. There was a lot of clarity that was coming through as far as that. So for the feminine read, guidance was coming up, the guide dance, so make sure you use your guidance. The Master of Pentacles, Master of Cups, and the Emperor were coming up as married, like a close bond between father and sons. Youngest, impatient to save for marriage. He was always the romantic one-on-one, always saving his money to someday marry to the only one, right? The one and only. I was getting like grandma married grandpa, and they had 2 sons or whatever it is. It was just giving the idea of how the Divine Masculine is. One little love, and one would be very successful. The messenger of truth then comes in to save the day. Rain and lightning comes quickly to ground and nourish, like the mother tends to her children. Mothers yell at them to stop feeling sorry for themselves. The Leo took care of Libra like a chambermaid to a judge, always at the Y in the road, but never let go of the mom's apron or purse strings. So it's like the mother's coming through to tell you that the masculine clings to the karmic, not because of the karmic, but because she represents the mother that he never let go of. Still depends on his mommy, and the dark X knows this, so they use it to manipulate him. She learned how to manipulate the beast, like the mother. That's why they chose the dark X, but now the justice energy, or the judge, steps down with bare feet changing lanes to take care of his own needs. So like a teenager leaving home, never had to care for themselves, he is scared to let go of her because she took the mother's role, not because of the karmic. His tail between his legs, he's scared to love such a powerful woman who knows what she wants and needs. He doesn't need someone to mother him, he needs love, and this is coming from the mother. He needs love, one-on-one love, that he thinks marriage means one-to-one love, right? Which it does to the feminine as well. Forgiving and learning came up, and wedding was underneath that it involves marriage. The Empress was reversed in this read, and the Hierophant was upright. It was coming up as the masculine and the karmic, the fight to distress, they fight to de-stress the family legacy that comes through for them. Or fight to survive in a big family. Two boys fighting for the father's attention, competing to get out of jail free. The winner takes all, including the wife. So this is a big wound from way back when, right? So if you were the more powerful man, the more wealthy man, the stronger man, you could defeat another man and take his wife. So if brothers are more successful, he was justified in taking the wife too. Dad gave them an assignment, and whoever wins gets his whole estate, and the mail order bride he picks for them too. Romeo and Juliet on steroids, battling the whole life for the ultimate prize. If he divorces, he loses automatically. So this is some crazy stuff that might be going on within families and how they manipulate their children to do what they want them to do. And then I was getting West Side Story and Living on the Wrong Side of the Tracks. And that was 1961, which actually is the year I was born. So then the names came up of Adam and Eve. And since West Side Story came up, Maria came up also. And then Lilith came up. So it's very interesting because, you know, I always wondered why people want to name their kids Mary, because it means bitter, which it does. Also, Maria references to the Latin Virgin, merciful ransom. So, and then Miriam, Mary, mother of Jesus. So she's actually the mother. So Mary references the mother figure, as opposed to, you know, Eve as the feminine and then Adam as the masculine. And then Lilith comes up, and there's lots of different names that come under Lilith, because it's Lily and Lil, and it also comes up, Lily also comes up under Elizabeth and Isabel, Luza. There's lots of different names that parallel with the same, and also even Jezebel. So Jezebel comes up as under those names. So so what I was getting from that was that and it's very cool, some of the stuff. I mean, I researched a lot of stuff about, and this is all from en.m.wikipedia.org. I'm just researching the Kabbalah because it brought up a lot of this information, and Adam and Eve and the names and stuff like that. But Adam was made to go to sleep as to not witness the process itself, all right, of birthing Eve or even birthing Lilith. But the parallel that I was getting with that is just that Lilith and Samuel are the etheric souls of Adam and Eve, that Sam is the higher self of Eve, and that Lilith is the higher self of the masculine, Adam. And the reason that they're demonized is because it's that raw sexual energy that, you know, you and I all know about, because it's that third energy, but that's who they are. And literally, I don't know how it started out. There's lots of different stories about first Adam having an appendage as Lilith, but the bleeding grossed him out, and that might have to do with the period as well. But what I am clear on is that the reason that all of this happened was because of the shame and guilt that Adam and Eve would feel, because that would, as you well know, would close their crown, right? Because your crown stays open, and you're able to connect with your higher self. But if your crown closes and you can't connect with your higher self and you become 3D, that's when Lilith and Sam become demonized, because now they're separate from you. They're not 3D, they're 5D, so they scare you. And also, twins didn't come down together, they came down one at a time. So if you felt that sexual energy, it would feel like a demon, because you don't know who your twin is. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try to piece some more of that together, but him going to sleep paralleled with our twin journey of the masculine being put to sleep while the feminine is being birthed, because he can't watch the birthing process. Isn't that cool? Also, yeah, there was also a blind dragon reference counterpart of this, with the counterpart of the sea, who was an intermediary to Sam and Lilith. And Neptune has come up a lot lately, so. And also they reference as the serpents, which makes sense because our higher self is connected to our Kundalini, which makes total sense to us, right? So, and also Lilith is referenced as the blue butterfly demon, which is the third eye, right? The seduction, because you connect to your higher self, to your third energy. But if you're not incarnated with your twin, it would be demonized. That would make sense completely. So let me know what you think in the comments. So continuing with that, the feminine read yesterday, the Hierophant comforts the girl in his control. Burdens are out, defenseless to lovers, and the sex drive out of control, right, because feeling the third energy, or defenseless to kids and detoxing codependency, to be mommied. That could be the codependency. Roses with thorns, him just one of the children, right, him and his children, he gets to be one of the kids, he doesn't want to grow up, you know, the Peter Pan syndrome. But there's a lizard spy there, always watching him, always watching everything he does. Addicted to hanging out with all the young girls, or the kids and their friends, so he can be a kid still. But it may be a little too hot for him to handle at this day and age. So maybe as the kids get older, it's a little dangerous there, right? So the abundance comes up as 88, 77, spirituality. The Knight of Wands reverse was frazzled, frustrated, played and dumped, and grew angel wings, emerald order, dumping all attachments that are not for his highest good. Dumping all love so the cup is empty in order to be filled, right? So you can't fill the space unless you empty it first. Funneling everything out through the crown, the horn, the trumpet, the reveille. Trumpet half valve of the vein. It was coming up as that flow, right? Just as I always describe to you how the pyramids are actually just half of the valve of a vein, and they're more rounded actually because the points are never actually sealed. That it's a vein, you know, vein is skinny and then it becomes big at the bulb, which is like just two sides or two pyramids put together. So that's coming up again here. The trumpet, the half valve of the vein, the blowhard, right? So blowhard comes up as the vein pumps back to the heart. And then when you breathe, the arteries rush, you know, the blood out to your body. And I was getting Russian there as well. Dance of the Angels, the ballet, by the moon cycles. Dance, keep an eye on the XX, the 7, and the ace, or the hole in 1. And all of those numbers equal 28. So XX is the judgment card, 7 is the chariot, and then the hole in 1, the ace, the magician. Ground control to Major Tom, ready for blast off, holding on to divine marriage, while dumping attachments and grounding with X, because obviously whatever they have to sort out with kids and things like that, and family to detox the abundance, or in other words, the fat, the pearl, needing to lose weight or get rid of stuff. Remember that when you're not relaxed and you're stressed, the third eye shuts and you can't connect to Eve. So recently, the 9 of Swords, there was no peace over the grief, but there was show of progress or process, the grounding and integrating, the purging of unhappiness with no love, jealousy, and lies in the split, like letting go of all this stuff with purging the 9 of Swords. The foundation of the feminine here was the prisoner, the prisoner of the King of Cups, Angel of Death was coming up here, getting busy running to karmic while keeping me in prison. All right, so for the feminine. So you can see how this would be very confusing for the masculine, because Lilith is even described as nocturnal emissions for the masculines, right? Because if the masculine doesn't have his feminine incarnate, his twin will come to him in his third energy in nocturnal emissions, which makes sense. So if you're connected to the karmic, right? Because you're all connected karmically anyway, but even if you're in the same soul group, he's going to be confused when your third energy comes through. He's going to think it belongs to her. He's not going to understand. And that's how the whole process begins, and why it's so confusing for everyone. While taking on your third energy and thinking it's his wife or his girlfriend or whoever it is, it's actually you, your third energy, because you're the twin. So it keeps you in prison. So centrally, the Ace of Wands, the new passion, awakening Libra energy, or the Justice card. Third party through work, the Emperor and the King of Wands, and the Cancer make a bold move. Or Leo Cancer, who left his job. And Job was coming up earlier today as well, so Job from the Bible. But Leo Cancer, who left their job. But Libra energy is definitely coming up as awake. The Magician Manipulator, tooting their own horn about lover. Possibly the Divine Masculine working to align, holding back announcements about prisoner or prison, or to prisoner, while hearing other announcements, like from the Divine Feminine. The challenge being the King of Swords in a high vibration at night, that third energy, working to hold their tongue, feeling trapped, drained by sovereign, or sick to their stomach, or heartsick, in other words. The Magician reversed, the Page of Wands reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the Page of Cups reversed were all in a row, along with the King of Wands upright and the King of Cups upright, with family legacy of the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Master Manipulator frustrated, with the Queen of Cups and Page of Cups crying, the King of Wands and King of Cups could be one person or two people. So it could be, two brothers, two partners, father and son, or it could just be two aspects of the same person, the man of passion and the man of love, a loving father. So someone could be calling another person a spoiled brat and may want their money, and that could be the Divine Feminine or the Karmic or the Masculine, whatever it is. The number 13 was coming up here again, which has to do with the 130 years in Adam. Soon, the 3 crystals reversed. Does he have enough worth to move forward with a home, or enough information on a home? The Queen of Cups reversed, sick about an ending of their family. The Knight of Wands coming up quickly behind the enemy, Leo Karmic. Spoiled brat is coming up here. Clearly detoxing to get going after a split. The Feminine seen as the 6 of Wands leading the way. Split, burden, hard work, pulling Excalibur without option. Healing, dissatisfaction, that wound. So pay attention to the red flags, engagement, passion, reconciliation, and stay optimistic came up for the Feminine. Around the Feminine or house scene is Justice, dumping the Queen of Wands reversed for the twin to turn her world back upright with blinders on, because now the masculine can see in the dark. So that was good coming up. Clear blocks for the Feminine of the Sun or kids or Leo draining and sick. Depression, moving on to offer help to the Magician reversed. So just let go of any preconceived notions, trying to make up the stories when you don't know that he's going to help people who are manipulating him, which he may be, but you have to allow him to figure that out on his own. Leo Aquarius offering to help the Karmic. Nature, communication, completion, parenting, and creativity came up, as well as self-discipline for the Feminine. Indigo, Knight of Pentacles, Aquarius, or Dream Girl, speaking and expressing their true feelings. The Queen of Pentacles reversed could be the Karmic being dumped. All right, so don't forget, since you are going to be very similar to the Karmic in certain ways, you could very much come up as the same card, just in opposite ways. Like, so if it could be Queen of Pentacles, could be anyone. So it can be 3 different signs, plus you could be the same sign as the Karmic. So it can be confusing as to which one you are. So just realize that. So now in that Feminine read was passing downloads and spreading the word out in the cold, conquering an abandonment wound. Even if he runs away with Leo, with Leo running too, dumping attachments to people who don't resonate, ending the war to lay down swords, defenseless, but could care less. Playing hardball with fallen angels, The karmic and her mother and one daughter or friend, Sagittarius, Cancer, Taurus, wounded warrior out in the cold. Victim mentality, in need of assistance. The creepy Empress reversed, who could come up as a brat plotting revenge, but it could be like a mother-in-law too, who's manipulative. That was at 11:01 yesterday, last night. Helpless, unable to manifest. So it's definitely like, so whatever the masculine was coming up, that whatever the masculine did to the feminine, the karmic does to him in different ways, but it's the same type of thing. But now it seems like the karmic, or the karmic and their mother, or the karmic and a friend are now like abandoned with nowhere to live, or just whatever happened between them, and unable to manifest for themselves completely. The Hermit, King of Wands, and Cancer, King of Cups, competing for legacy, overwhelming to their family that may not be real, like that it shows like it's an amazing, happy family, but it's not. Ending it with karmic user who knew the whole time. Now indigo is reversed, which is that magician energy, judging and tooting their own horn to the divine masculine and kids who ended the family. Capricorn, Aquarius, or Capricorn dream girl, the Knight of Pentacles wish, but with insecurities, an old-fashioned romance is, and taking it slow. The divine masculine's heart is stable and warm and patient with fallen angel Lilith, okay? So now seeing that third energy that was demonized, which is just the higher self, that raw sexual energy, now seeing that, and it could reference the karmic as someone, her cheating, or that, you know, he thought that the third energy from the divine feminine was the devil, and now knows it's not, that the real fallen angel was the karmic, you know, who was using him the whole time, or knew and was manipulating, doing something illegal, whatever it is. Drained and sick, jealous and depressed, sharing jealousy in the aftermath with lovers, new passion. The King of Swords reversed, expressing feelings of the Queen of Pentacles reversed with mental illness or over-isolating, only coming out to party. So that could be somebody's karmic. Or the Divine Feminine grounding to come out and now come together. The High Priestess rising up over purges, the King of Pentacles falling and walking away, looking back, detaching, and Queen of Swords, listening to Queen of Swords words perhaps, or, you know, YouTubes, things like that. So the Hierophant or X, someone could be in prison, leading the way. Libra energy was coming up here again, as justice has been coming up a lot lately. Purging, new passion, with the challenge being the King of Swords and the Three of Pentacles reversed, so leaving a job or a workplace, whatever you're doing. Sick or drained or passing on information, stealing or lying, indigo, so it could be at, you know, Magician reverse energy is not good. Insecure but stable and warm as the masculine, with jealousy and depression issues with Leo, Sagittarius. So that could be both of them or just one of them, that kind of thing. But there's definitely a strong fire sign there as well. And that doesn't have to be their sun sign. They could just act like a fire sign though. So now I'm going to get into the masculine stuff, but I wanted to bring up the movies I saw last night and then the night before, because I watched The Hangover last night, and it was so funny because everything I talked to you guys about yesterday in the masculine read came up in the movie, in The Hangover, right? So they were guys who were vacationing in Vegas, remember? And it teaches them a lesson about drugs, diseases, gratitude, authenticity, friends, and who's most important in your life, right? But also, I talked about date rape, right? And what happened in The Hangover, right? They bought drugs and got the wrong drug, so they had roofies. So they were all on the date rape drug. And then radiation came up yesterday, and the groom ended up getting fried on the roof because he got stuck up there, you know, asleep hours in the sun. So he got fried in the radiation. So it's just funny how whenever the readings come up, sometimes when I'm watching movies and I'm doing a read for myself, literally it'll be just telling me the storyline of the movie. It's pretty funny. So the energies are like right there. They come right back at you. The other movie that was coming up that was important was about you know, a wealthy man divorcing, where the ex became, you know, she thought she was all that, she was snotty and mean, and so of course in the separation, and she was the one who cheated, was now manipulating him to get more money, like threatening him and doing all sorts of stuff. So he actually was able to then find out illegal activities and get evidence of what she was doing, so then he could turn it back on her, and then all of a sudden she couldn't get anything from him. So that was good. Also, it was about him, though. After he breaks up from the marriage, he's now sleeping around with everyone, never wanting to give his heart away again, and has a threesome with 2 women and gets both of them pregnant. But that's what got him out, because it was actually the ex who set him up with those 2 girls to get him in court. But it turned, it bounced back on her, and it works out in the end. His best friend still stands by him, even though he may get 2 girls pregnant, and is willing to stand by those children. So it's about standing by your man as well, forgiving their mistakes, right? Even though you're not okay with those kind of things, understanding that some things, weren't meant to hurt you, but it's all about forgiveness and compassion. So those were very important messages that came up. I know a lot of you are dealing with that too, as far as masculines having kids and feminines still having kids in their marriages when trying to come together with their masculines. So it can be messy ordeal. So coming into today as July 12th, 2019, and the 12 being the hangman, so hanging out, it's all about wisdom. Could be hanging in limbo or just relaxing and seeing new perspectives. It's at number 3, which is about authentic expression. And the number of the day it adds up to is 2911. 29 is an 11. It's a master number. It's also the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands usually means, waiting for your ship to come in, waiting for the next level of business to decide what you want to do next. But for me, it's very much about staying in the present moment now. Okay, so not waiting, but just appreciating and being grateful for everything that's right in your presence now. So also dice came up. So dicey, maybe a word needed to be used today. Oh, and I have to show you my pictures. Oh, something else that came up from the hangover last night. Remember there was a tiger in the bathroom in their hotel room and they had no idea how it got there? Well, what do you think is smack in the middle of the read today? The tiger. Pretty funny. Trapped in the middle. He's kind of buried under all those cards there in the middle. So, I can't show you the pictures here because they're on my iPad that I'm using right now. But when I went outside this morning to get the energy and see what the sun's like, I saw my dragonfly flying around, which I never see him flying. I either just see him sitting on a plant or I don't see him at all. But I saw him flying around, and my white butterfly flying around, which, yes, could be a moth, but I like to call him a butterfly because that's what they look like to me. But I never can catch a picture of the butterfly because the butterfly plays with me. And there was a hamster my daughter and I had a long time ago whose name was Craps, because the first thing he did when we got him was crap in our hands, and the first thing he did after he died in our hands was crap again. So we had named him Craps, but we buried him out front. So ever since he passed away, a white butterfly would always follow me in the morning to go down to my car to go to work. So I have a lot of fondness for this white butterfly. And I want to tell you that the 2 white butterflies were frolicking again today. And I got a picture in my garden of literally, I have to show it to you because it is the cutest thing ever. 2 green flies, face to face, literally like the Divine Masculine with his tail between his legs, trying to apologize to the Divine Feminine. So I'll probably post that as a picture on this because it's just too cute for words. And I'm not, green flies probably aren't my favorite bug. But I got a close-up. They did not move. I got a lot of pictures of them. It was so cute. So I'll show you that. And you can literally see his eyes. That's how cute it is. So for the Divine Masculine today, which was done at 10:25 to 26 this morning, 25 and 26 are the Knight and Pages of Wands, which was very important because in the numbers, the Queen and King of Wands came up too, as well as the Fool. So it was literally 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, which is the Fool, the King, Queen, Knight, and Page of Wands. So that whole suit, as well as the 88, the 34, which is the 8 of Wands, 1010, that high vibration, that high vibration trill, 48, the walking away, the 8 of Cups, and 8-10 came up as well as 23-11, which is where the 23 came from, but as well as the 11 of Justice, and the Wheel of Fortune with the 10. The major arcana for the masculine today were Strength, Abundance, Wheel, and the Hanging Man. So Abundance is the Empress, and the other are self-explanatory. The Hanging Man, it's called the Hanging Man in Sirian Starseed deck, where it's usually the Hanged Man. Before the read was the Higher Self, or the High Priestess, and then after the read was the Emperor, or Reason. So we do, again, have the Emperor and the Empress here, so these are the main characters for the read. Remember, we have a lot of decks here, but they're all clarifiers of the main read. So that's these big cards are the main deck. And then on top of that, the major arcana are going to be even more significant because they're major arcana. It has to do with divine intervention. So we have the Emperor and the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hangman, and Strength, which is right in the middle, that tiger. There were 2 cups, 3 swords, 1 wand, and 1 pentacle, so mostly swords. So the masculines may be very much in their heads today, which is why we're feeling fear, and I was feeling my high heart in my throat. The court cards were the King of Swords. Before the read was the Knight of Pentacles, and after the read, the King of Cups and King of Swords came up. So we have the King and Queen of Swords present, the King of Cups, and then the Knight of Pentacles. The numbers that came up and the coding line were all about pride. So that has to do with pride of the masculine, but as well as the children, the pride, like the lion's pride. Or ego, just in general. The numbers were 34 on the code line, but they were from 2, 4, 8, and 10. So number 6 was missing there, which is always the space between the words, or of significance, which is love or the lovers. 22, 88, 10, 10, 24, 48, 8, 10, and then 23, 11. The code line being all about pride. Aid was coming up, as well as the nickname Addie, A-D-E, because that comes up a lot. And that's because the knights are adept, so sometimes when they're covered, it'll make ADE, which you can see over here. Where did I put my thingy? Okay. So over here we have the, this is the Adept of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles. This is the 8 of Cups, and this is the Higher Self over here, like the High Priestess, and then this is the 4 of Cups. So wishing on a star. So it's all again about, Mama was coming up with bridging the gap, and the bridge was coming up again today to bridge the abundance. Also 10 off was coming off, so 10% off or $10 off came up twice, so that was important. But also it could be like flipping someone off, like flip off, but in a high vibration way. Collective, and so I was getting the abbreviation CI because when you talk about collective consciousness and the Christ consciousness, I get confused with the coding. So they were literally giving me coding for collective consciousness as collective intelligence. So it's more like the 3D energy in our sphere here is the collective consciousness, whereas the Christ consciousness is the etheric energy, okay? Supporting the state of drama, the 2 or the twins of the Christ consciousness, Han, like Han Solo, because the masculine calls himself Han all the time, Han's pride. So keeping your vibration high. You might want to lose 10 pounds. Abundance comes up again with bridging the gap and the mother energy, and aiding that bridging by, taking the edge off. Don't come in all, arrogant, that kind of thing. Support the state of, in order to support the state of drama that you two could be in when you first come back together again. It's letting go of pride, come back on that. Aid the bridge of the divine feminine. They may be apt. I was getting Jesus as referencing, the human part. So we need, the drama a little bit because it supports the state of transmutation that we need to do, right? So bridging the gap between the human part of us and the etheric realms helps us to understand the other humans that we're trying to connect with. It supports so the collective intelligence or the collective consciousness supports the state of drama, the fire, of the two of C, the two who are, more angelic, more in the emotional realms. Also, the clan's pride was coming up. So the pride of the family, and will they fit in, right? So being hoity-toity about your family, that the other person doesn't match with you. So just some of the energies of what gaps need to be filled between the masculine and the feminine. The Euro-India gateway was coming up again with the Empress, destiny of the collective consciousness, which supports the toggling up, or the etheric realms, the expression of feelings in the Christ consciousness, and bridging that gap of high emotions, emotional pride, especially dealing with kids, right? Because pride is kids. So you need to stay in your human part, enabled, so you can bridge the gap with the children. Also, the royals, the rare blood types, bridging the gap with the royals of high vibration, but who are 3D royals, not Christ consciousness royal. So again, the bridge between that, supporting the transmutation of the energies between the twins and their prides, so the kids or the family. Also, the Delaware bridge was coming up, and some gap to bridge there as well. And that could have to do with the tax breaks. Having to do with someone's pride might also be a shore house, a beach house of the masculine. So that was coming up as well. So getting right into this for the masculine, as I start to read, the number 18 comes up, which is the moon. And what I noticed, we did get double numbers, 22, 88, and 1010. But other than that, none of the numbers were matching up, like the date and the day the number that adds up to, and then the code line. Nothing was matching up as far as the numbers, just that sequence of numbers of the wands energies. And now we have 18, which is the moon, as we come up to the full moon on the 16th. Wishing upon a star to let go and repair, disconnect from disconnecting from a lover in an unwise decision. So they could be the same thing. The lover, breaking up with the lover, he may feel as an unwise decision, or breaking up with a lover because he made an unwise decision. Okay? The higher self of the masculine offers help to bridge the gap and walk away to the beach or from all that's been built. Lowball offer to not blow the whistle. So that here we go with the, in a divorce situation, kind of threatening each other to do this. So if someone did something illegal, now they get the upper hand. So I'm getting the masculine lowballing an offer. So the karmic won't have them blow the whistle on them. Now the karmic begging to take the offer of the Pied Piper, listen to judgment, abide, hear the wake-up call, or listen to the announcement, follow their guidance. So it could be the masculine just trying to get them to wake up, to be their better self. Guilt and shame from exposure of reaping rewards. For the masculine, he may be feeling guilty about reaping rewards, right? Especially if other people may still be in need, or he may have to let go of jobs of others in order for him to retire. The constant gardener, naked and free, while the divine feminine is suffering, or vice versa. Or the karmic and kids free, while he's digging for anything found. Unscrupulous ways to support family or habits, like, a very poor person will steal bread for their family. And then I was getting, and I haven't thought of this in a long time, I had the 45 record of this in junior high school. Where are you going, Billy? I need to know. I don't remember all the words, but that was definitely coming up. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves, the lion's den, den of thieves, looks all proper, but how it got there may not be. Longing for the day when he can be naked and free, after sudden epiphany of new love, innocent love, or offering new love or innocent child, the short end of the stick, and he judged them, exposing them as a charlatan of sorts. Guess it's time to move to Charleston instead. I was getting, and Charleston, of course, or off course. Truth out of instability or moving to dump burdens. No more hard labor, confessions to lighten the load about spying, spreading lies, and the silent treatment from the masculine. Or mean words, immature communication, or just no messages at all, not even one. Pale yellow and sky blue, letting everything go, all the stuff, the home, being bipolar, or just all over the place, yapping superficial words, dumping it all except for this lamp, and this book, and this crystal. I was getting the jerk. If you remember that movie when he grabs the lamp at the end, I can let go of everything except this lamp and this book, whatever it was. It wasn't a book, but whatever it was. Here I was getting the lamp, and this, so he's going to let go of everything except for this lamp and this book and this crystal. The jerk. So honeymoon comes up, and this was 11:27. 11 is justice, 27 is the Ace of Wands, the new passion, new creativity. Honeymoon comes up, and then forgiving and learning beneath that for the underlying energy. The Queen of Cups out nurturing, the Divine Masculine hiding in disconnect. Twister comes up, as well as hanging out wisely, with feet crossed on a footstool or log, dancing with wrong partner, and knowing it was wrong. The Divine Masculine asking God, what did I do to deserve this? As the Queen of Pentacles blocking his attempts to kiss her feet, whether karmic or Divine Feminine, but I was getting her. It was interesting today. The Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Empress upright are all about this read. So both can be both. The karmic and the Divine Feminine can be both of those people. So it depends on your situation. So you determine who it is. But I was definitely getting the Empress as the Divine Feminine and this Queen of Pentacles reversed as the karmic today. However, the Empress could also be a mother involved. So the Empress upright as well. Someone hid dessert or a chalice behind a plant, or a small chalice planter that is a plant. It's a microphone or camera to see karmic stepping on heart without a thought, or stomping on his heart to get back at him as he kisses her feet and she ignores him. Someone, meanwhile, held hostage against their will, or the Divine Feminine, and he knew it while dancing with other women. The Divine Masculine stepping on the Divine Feminine's heart as the karmic steps on his. Keeping the Divine Feminine off to the side, just in case for later, if this doesn't pan out. Him realizing this about himself now. The Divine Feminine loving, karmic being a bee, or just cold or emotionally detached to her own childhood issues, but now their contract is over. And she is learning why people are so drawn, so her lesson might have been, being with the Divine Masculine, was to see why people are so drawn to him. What are his secrets to, to getting people to like him? And that might have been something she had to learn from him. Patience came up, which is number 2, which is the High Priestess. And environment came up, which is number 44 of the Four of Cups, mastering, grounding, and integrating. The wheel is turning slow in the beginning of this read, but it actually flips up. As it's going slow though in the beginning, as far as blind justice. Innocent heart, curious about stubbornness of the Emperor, who's in his head, holding the light of the solar system in his right hand. Red, white, and blue, Republican views, Roman Empire, Caesar, and downfall of the winged Emerald Order, the Emerald Tablets, and how the patriarchy conquered the angels and broke them in the first place. Or the Emperor thinking of deliberations that he waited too long, realizing it was poor judgment, bad decisions, breaking patterns, not seeing the rainbow, but only what his eyes can understand. Major Tom crashed. Royal blue and Knights in white Satan, I wrote again, but it's supposed to be satin, painted with gold leaf, funneling everything he can get his hands on down his throat, all choked up. So it could be just overeating, but definitely all choked up coming up. So that could be what you're feeling if you're feeling that high heart stress up to your throat. Can't maintain, the jig is up, the mask is off, enough with the wife. She's out of my life, she's out of my life. So that came up, damned indecision, and it says cursed pride in the lyrics, but I always get foolish pride. Damned indecision and foolish pride kept my love for her locked deep inside. It cuts like a knife. She's out of my life. So you have to read all the words because they're so relevant to the Divine Masculine's perspective. So this was, the song started at 11:57, which is the Three of Swords. So that broken heart. And then 11:59, which is the minute before the hour, so the 11th hour. And then as I'm turning the page, it's literally 12 o'clock. Exactly. So, as I turned the page, it was 12 o'clock. The masculine tripped up, ignored love, and now reaping rewards of the lies that he told about her. And she patient the whole time. So before I go into recently, I'm going to show you the read, but also I'm going to tell you the positions of the court cards and the signs and how they came up today. So like I told you, the Emperor and Empress were upright. Let's see here. All of the knights were reversed today. None of the others were all one way or the other. The kings, the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles were upright. The others reversed. The Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords were upright. The others reversed. The Queen of Wands was reversed, and so was the Queen of Pentacles. The Knights were all reversed, and then the pages, the only one that was reversed was the Page of Swords. All the other pages were upright. So the little kids are great today. The older kids, maybe a bit moody and not getting around. They're being lazy or whatever, you know. Maybe they drank too much last night, that kind of stuff. And then the kings and queens are equally mixed up and down. Then we have, for the signs that were just down, or their more negative energy, was Aquarius, Scorpio, and that was those were the only ones that were just down, because there's several that were up and down. The ones that were up and down, which means there's two of that sign, or the same person showing vacillating energies, positive and negative. So that was Gemini, Taurus, Pisces, and Libra. The ones that were only upright were Leo, very much so, Sagittarius, Aries, Virgo, Capricorn, and Cancer. Cancer very much so upright as well. So recently, the King of Swords reversed. I'm going to get into the reading just to show it to you now, and then we'll go back to what's going on. Okay, so we have the underlying energy, that Four of Chalices or Four of Cups. And then the recent past is the King of Swords there. Then we have the foundation there, which you can't see it, but it's the Abundance or Empress card. I'm going to show you from both sides so you can see those cards. So that's the Fool upright and the Sun upright, and then the other clarification cards are the Ace of Wands reversed and that Nine of Pentacles upright. The middle of the read is that Tiger, which is the Strength card. The challenge being the Eight of Flames. And then crowning is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so you can see the wheel over here on the left as reversed in the underlying energy, but that's just underlying. It was definitely coming up upright in the read, so that was very positive, a positive flip. And then as we bridge over to the near future, we have the Two of Crystals, which is like the Two of Pentacles. And in this deck, it's very much about surrender. You can see him in that little window right there, okay? And then we have how he sees himself as that Ten of Orbs or Ten of Swords. The Romance Angel cards. What's around him or how he is seen is the Ten of Chalices or Ten of Cups. You see the situation with the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups there. And then the blocks he needs to clear have to do with the Hangman, hanging out with anger issues in the right knee. And then the end of the read here with the numerology cards. And they go up to there. We have the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is upright. The King of Cups there is reversed energy. Then the Emperor was above that, which is upright, and the Queen of Swords, which was, I think she was upright as well. I'll let you know in a second. I'm pretty positive she was. But then this is the end of the read, tops off with the Chariot, or the Cancer energy, and then that was just the side note stuff, okay? So we'll go back to the read now. Let's see if I can get a better perspective there for you so you can get more of the cards in. Okay. So recently, the King of Swords, in the aftermath of the Avoid dance, moving to peace, prisoner, still with wounded warrior weighing heavily upon his shoulders. Emotions illuminated, needing to dump attachments that don't serve him, as the hermit sheds more light, or direct light, on it. The foundation for the masculine is abundance, the Empress, free to leap away from kids and or Leo, or free to be falling, exposed, naked, and free, riding on a white horse, and feeling sacred energy, while holding back passion, sex, creativity of sovereign, or, if single, or the Empress with their heart open and free, allowing their kids to express their authenticity, while their princess is frustrated and blocked. So it could just be describing the feminine and the karmic, but also could be describing a mother and the karmic in his sphere, whoever's living with him right now. So centrally, strength, the eye of the tiger, eye on the prize, and they're great, right? So that's coming up. Twin patient angels, or twins and their prides, their children, looking back at walking away and dumping the heaven in their eyes. Now taming his own beast, only one lover for him, and that's of a divine nature. The challenge being expressing feelings, heated exchange, toward the full moon, an offer of new life is made. Coming full circle, sealed divine feminine, Empress in her abundance. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, High Priestess reversed, or the Queen of Pentacles Viking Princess, not in her intuition, is now schooled by slow destiny, or a slowdown of luck or abundance, by the karmic wheel for flapping her mouth, for unnecessarily spreading wings or gossip. Sphinx put her in check, so magician can perform with spiritual Empress, who is well grounded in her masculine and in his left hand his world. Breaking up toward the retrogrades to propel as the wheel turns forward into union space, reunion with twin, the King of Wands upright, King of Cups reversed, to cover or recover and offer an olive branch past twisted pillars of no consequence. And this King of Wands upright and King of Cups reversed can be two separate people, or it could be one person. And if it's two separate people, it can be the masculine, but it doesn't have to be, because we have the King of Swords in this read too. And he doesn't have to be the masculine either. But the King of Cups often comes up as one of the fathers of the masculine or the karmic. So that could be, the King of Cups here could be that as well. I'm definitely get the Emperor can be a father, but it can play two roles in the same read. So it can be the masculine, but it can also be one of the fathers, depending on what you're talking about. Because I was definitely getting the Emperor as the masculine today, but it also could come up as a father. But he's upright. The King of Wands and Queen of Wands reversed are saying goodbye. So there is a Sagittarius female, the one who looks like she's miserable, and she could be an alcoholic, or she's doing potions and stuff like that. And that could just be a teen or 20s person, but it can also be the karmic. Or it could be like if there's a marriage and then they're out of the marriage but they're seeing somebody else, that could be that person as well. But the King of Wands and Queen of Wands reverse saying goodbye, unless it's not the Queen of Wands. It could be, if it's the marriage, it's the Queen of Wands reversed, but if they're done with the marriage and they're seeing someone else in another relationship, then it's not the Queen of Wands reversed who's saying goodbye, because they're already split. I mean, saying goodbye to someone, while the King of Cups reversed scrambles for the words or papers that are missing, each for the female Sag drinker, potion maker, or the King of Cups reversed. So either one of them could be missing papers and now freaking out that they can't find them. Or now the Divine Masculine is fully detached emotionally from karmic, including contracts, wills, and bills. No more extensions or olive branches for her, offers ignored, putting money or new life into business, or offering peanuts or lowballing the sale or purchase of a business. In separation, now it's the Divine Masculine's turn to pull the strings, but springs might come up here too. To pull the strings and push buttons. To pull springs. I don't know, something might be in a mattress, I was just getting. Somebody might be hiding something in a mattress. Soon breaking patterns of breakup to makeup, the divine masculine manifesting the DNA strand took the thorn from his own paw. He didn't need someone else to take it out for him. The hermit alchemizes light into speaking truth, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed karmic, ungrounded or greedy, or losing money, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed karmic is unhappy with the offer from the divine masculine. No more affection now that the battle is over. No going back to work with Leo Aquarius telling him what to do. Breathing or breaking the facade. The masculine may still trip up a little bit, but that's okay. He knows it's all right. As we turn the page, it's 1240, which is that Page of Cups and the Hangman again. He may trip up now and then. He is seeing himself as that 10 of orbs with lower back pain, or ending work, or ending that work with rest and connection. Now being still, not working, not being lazy. So he's saying, just because you're still doesn't mean you're lazy. If you do it by choice, because it's authentic to what you're doing and what gives you joy, there's nothing wrong with it. So he's learning that as well. After detaching from jealousy, insincerity, and payouts of debt and or imbalances, ending the pain and betrayal, that this is the last of it. I was also getting on this page, stand by your man, and the forgiveness. Flirt comes up here for the masculine, then free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Around him, or how he is seen, is the happy family of the collective consciousness. Gets success and attention, breaking gently, tapering off, so not stopping everything all at once, weaning without breaking too hard, and no speed or speeding up. Inspired to fall, to trip, to break, to humble self to thine enemy, yet stand up for thyself without aggression. Clear blocks, divine masculine of the hangman, and that's also the Jesus template, right? To clear any blocks of the hangman with a right knee block, which has to do with anger, being hung on the cross. The King of Pentacles hanging out is something negative while others lose their jobs, or not getting along at work, holding tongue, rushing for nothing, right? So hurry up and wait. The Knight of Swords and Knight of Wands, both reversed, are losing money due to dysfunctional family. That the masculine doesn't need to feel guilty about that is their wound to heal, not his. If they can't make it work without him, or he has to let go of employees to retire, so be it. Pride comes up, love, partnership, and perseverance, even more so. So pride was the main card that we said in the beginning of the read, but love, even more so, love, partnership, persevering that, parenting, domestic harmony, and new beginnings, detoxing. If someone's trying to give you more opportunities and you don't want to take them because you want to retire, it's like detoxing more of those opportunities, because that could be a codependency as well, to learn. Detoxing control and a need to know more than others, that could be an ego issue as well. Also alcohol and kids drinking, holding tongue when words lack affection, with depression of Leo or strong-willed Aquarius reversed at work, or no longer working. Watch your words and be compassionate. All information no longer needed because you already know. Time to celebrate divorce or come together spiritually and be clear with your words. Detoxing the image of starting over, being the student again, and someone over you may also be difficult for the masculine's ego. Immature words, silent treatment, spying, or a mouthy kid or an adult acting like a child in separation. The King of Cups is reversed, but he's done fighting. That's why he's emotionally detaching, offering a truce to stay balanced. A truce. The Emperor, the sound of reason, with crown open to the Queen of Swords upright with the light. Unhappy alone, Aquarius without Libra, or in divorce, or unsatisfied dream girl, unfairly treated. However, life has treated her kindly, as the wheel turns forward in separation of the Queen of Wands reversed, King of Wands in divorce proceedings, unaware the Emperor, King of Wands, was coming, ascending, moving, or traveling. Or the secret's out about these things. Or the Emperor was unaware that the Cancer is on top of things. Or someone has their Cancer in control, which is good. Someone who had Cancer. Or divine timing knocks Aquarius off their game, out of intuition by separation and or the King of Wands and Queen of Wands reversed, divorce. Boldly moving forward. At 107 is the Emperor and the Chariot, boldly moving forward. Running or a clean getaway, as the masculine may have started to purge and been dealing with stress, so he had to leave the Queen of Cups offer of love. Queen of Cups is upright here. No option of reaping rewards, because he had no option. He was reaping the rewards of the dark night and grief. The King of Swords reversed in a heated exchange with the devil. So as we turn the page, it's 109. 1 is the Magician, 9 is the Hermit. Grounding and integrating abundance, the end of pain with family emotions. The King of Swords reversed, not in their truth. It doesn't have to be the masculine, it can even be a lawyer. Whiskers of truth with the eye on spots. The challenge being a heated debate or heated exchange to break, spelled 2 different ways, and hang out, Netflix and chill, to turn things around in favor with filling in gaps, just knowing what's true and what isn't, by trusting self. While staying detached, the Emperor and the Queen of Swords. Grounding and integrating the King of Swords reversed, breaking Empress, strong and destined, the challenge being expressing feelings for the masculine. Ending the pain with breaking patterns, being in their knowing, family hanging in limbo until they understand too, and then they can return if they want to, if they're going to treat him right. Okay? So the main issue is that tiger in the middle of the read, the inner strength, having the balance and being centered at 0 point. The challenge being expressing feelings or confronting people, right? People who don't like to fight or have conflict, don't like to, deal with the situation if they don't have to, right? But it's about getting to the truth that inner strength is expressing feelings, because that's the truth. Don't be afraid of speaking your truth, even if it hurts the other person's feelings. So the court cards that came up here, don't forget we had the king, the Empress and the Emperor, which definitely could represent the masculine here. But also the only court card was the King of Swords. So that could also be the Divine Masculine. But it could also be the main issue for him, this King of Swords. And the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Cups also came up with the Queen of Swords. So there's all sorts of players here. And the 3 wise men came up yesterday. So there definitely could be several men in his life. Could be brothers, partners, father-in-law. So they could all come up, and so you have to reference that as needed. Okay. All right, so let's pull out, it's 102. So real quickly, I'll pull some extra cards to see specifically some closing remarks. So take a deep breath. It is July 12th, 2019. Everyone watching, the highest and best for all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? I'm asking Yeshua. Joshua. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? All right, so some closing remarks for all of you out there. Take another deep breath, please. Okay, first card out is the 4 of Pentacles reverse, which is very much about letting go to make repairs or patch things up or, fix things. So it can be a good thing, You've been saving a lot of money, now it's time to spend it, or it could just be time and energy to fix things that need fixing, okay? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is perfect. Okay, and you see the goose getting schooled up there at top for flapping their wings. Can be the student getting in trouble too, like you see all the kids down here, like the bull and the lion. The kids sent to their rooms to study because they got in trouble. So don't mess with the Sphinx here, but all is well. Then we have the Page of Cups reversed, which could be someone who's just very shy. but it could also be rejection. It could also be someone who's acting like a spoiled brat or a crybaby. Then we have the moon, so the full moon coming up, the eclipse, all right? And so the dogs are starting to howl, letting you know, even the masculine, this lobster, could be up in arms, right? Because as the energies build. And these are all coming out together, so let's see what we have here. 4 cards came out together. The Sun, the Knight of Swords reversed, the 9 of Wands, which is the Wounded Warrior, and the 8 of Cups reversed. So this could be high energy of the kids, right? But also could be full exposure. It could be playing out in the sun. But then the Knight of Swords could be holding your tongue. Could be someone who's using harsh words as well. But it could be holding back an announcement about exposing things, or holding your tongue to the Wounded Warrior who's very fragile. So it could masculine coming forward, knowing he needs to hold back his tongue as not to crush the Wounded Warrior, and vice versa for the feminine as well. Or it could just be kids who know that they have to be gentle around him because he's been through a lot. Or Leo energy. And then this is sitting in the uncomfortable energies instead of running away from them. He's being good because he's going through, this could be the feminine too, sitting with the energies and letting the wounds come up so that you can release them from your consciousness. And we also had from the Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, Libra, and Cancer energies both come up. Then we have the Star reversed, so there's still some depression here, or loss of hope that needs to be let go of. Okay, but this is here. This is letting go of the grief, letting go of the loss, passing from the 3rd to the 4th baton, which is good. This could be even if the karmic or someone in the masculine's life is depressed, who he's letting go of, because he's letting go of things that no longer serve him. He needs to be able to get past that, which is what those 2 cards just showed me. If someone else is depressed, then that's their wound to heal. He can't fix their wounds. He can't feel sorry for them. He has to do what's best for him, which is him turning around and getting over the loss, right, for himself. All right? So then we have the Hierophant, which can be very much about making that commitment to himself, your higher self. And you have the twins down here, right? 2 brothers it could be as well. Okay? 2 Ys, because we're in masculine energy right now. And not asking why. All right, cross keys. It's not a race to get to God. It's about staying in the moment, in the present, happiness. This also can have to do with other commitments and contracts, but mainly committing to your higher self. And then we have the Fool reversed. So that could, this is, this came up in the read too. It's about allowing the fall, allowing the break, allowing the dropping of the facade. Allow the fall, because that's how you are able to put the pieces back together in a better way, okay? But also, don't lose faith. Allow yourself to be imperfect, okay? And this is that burden, but also going to be working very hard. It could be hard labor. It could be doing work out in the yard. All right, but this is about not getting along at work or any creative project or practical thing where you come together. It could be school or church or whatever it is. But this could have something could have fallen through a project or a coming together. But it was a big burden to do it, and then it fell through. So that might be something unexpected that came up. Or this could be that work was a big burden, so they left. Whoever it is, the masculine or the feminine, could have left their job or retired to do work at home. Also could just be people not getting along at work, that work's a burden because you don't get along with the people at work or you don't really like the work. Could be a third party through work is also a burden. And also quitting a job, okay? So then we have the King of Swords and the 10 of Cups, okay? So him finding his truth and his emotional fulfillment, okay? And the Rainbow Bridge, okay? So this is really positive energy. Whether he's still with his family or not, it doesn't matter because his frequency is rising, right? His vibration. Having master of his world, mastery over his world, his domain, and choosing the feminine, the left side, okay? And this too, okay? That's reaping his rewards, allowing himself that. knowing his worth. Okay? And then the bottom of the deck is just the Nine of Cups. I don't know what's behind it. Let's see what's behind it. All right, so this is moving passionately and getting his wish. Be careful of arrogance, but he doesn't look arrogant. He's got a smile on his face. He looks nice. But this is good. This is coming into your happiness and satisfaction, being on your own, even if you're alone. Keeping busy, being passionate about what you do, and leaving behind that lack consciousness, or a person who's in lack. Could be a mother with illness as well. If they're old, you could be taking care of them. But letting go of all that, okay, after having learned his intuition, and letting go of this energy. Getting busy to find his bliss. Okay, guys. Home. Drink your water. Get your rest. Be happy. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.